afternoon, everybody, from sunny sub-Saharan Manchester. We have such a beautiful day today. I've decided to do today's show from outside in the back of my garden in Manchester, and that's nothing to do with the fact that I have or haven't locked myself out of the house. I know you're all worried, but I do have a pack of Monster Munch to keep me going, to keep my levels up. Anyway, after that professional introduction, let's go.
Simon crashed because he's outside. That's what's happened.
I think it has.
Well, let me ask you to introduce yourself then, Richard, whilst Simon is frozen in his back garden.
Thank you, Nick. Well, welcome everybody. I'm Richard Megson. I'm the MD of Assured Sale and Progression. I suspect myself and Nick are going to have to entertain you for the next, hopefully. I was padding. Not very well.
Absolutely, still seamless. That's still just down to Virgin Network, to be honest. I'm still shouting them. Yes, gents. Sorry, we were where we were going with that. I was just saying, do you still get tired, Nick, of talking about the awards that you won?
Never get tired of it. Never. I want more. You know, it's like a drug.
Good. Well, we'll come back, as they used to say about Paul Daniels. Why does the multi-award-winning U-Move team up with ASAP? And we'll get to that. So I'll leave you to think about that in a second.
Yeah.
Richard, how are you? Richard Megson from ASAP. How are you? You're looking delightfully elegant there.
Well, I'm about to look a lot more delightful.
Hey!
Now, I might look like a prat, but there you go. I am going to wear this throughout, Mr. Well, as a nod to Kerfuffle. But I'm very chipper. I'm very well.
There's a little bit of Donald Trump about you there, Richard.
Really?
Did you not see my election special limited edition kit, Nick? I had Make Whaley Great Again and Keep Kerfuffle Great. So yeah, anyway, I think they've been burnt by now. Okay, guys, look, let's talk about it. So, Richard, can we first of all just talk about the service that you provide, just to tee it up for anyone that obviously doesn't know you guys already? That'd be really important. So, well, let's start with Richard. Obviously, can you just give an overview of ASAP first and foremost?
Absolutely. I mean, I'll try to be sensible wearing this stupid bloody hat. I have been promised some merch by Kerfuffle, but by the way, it's not yet arrived.
Okay, right. We deliver. So, yeah.
Right, serious head on. So yeah, we're Assured Sale and Progression. We work with estate agents throughout the country. We've been operating for 6 years now. Our role is basically to assist agents with the heavy lifting of sales progression and ultimately speed up transactions. It's been a very challenging year for us all, the last sort of 6 months particularly so, but I'm very much cup half full. So really enjoying the challenge of the current market. I'm pretty optimistic about the future, I have to say.
And you've seen a lot of growth, to be fair, haven't you? I mean, regardless, you're on a upward trajectory, but even more so. And I think, unsurprisingly, really, isn't it, when people are, you know, they've furloughed staff, they've come back actually probably with less staff, but they're doing more than ever before. So services like yours that they can dip into, try it, and then actually, where you're hoping is they see enough value in it to stay with you long term and put more and more of their cases through you.
No, absolutely. So I mean, over the last sort of 4 or 5 months, we've pretty much doubled in terms of size, clients, which in itself has been a challenge, but really exciting. But yeah, I mean, it's all about listening to what clients want. We've sort of pivoted in terms of the service that we offer, complete flexibility, either where the agents can utilize our conveyancing proposition as well as a sales progression, or sales progression only, and or overflow. So what we're trying to do is provide a very flexible solution, because, you know, every agent's got slightly different needs.
So it is, you know, it's not just a one size fits all proposition, is it? You very much listen to the agency and build the proposition around them.
Yeah, very much so. And you know, the pivot was to offer standalone sales progression, which until about 6 months ago we hadn't done. But you know, I've spent a lot of time on webinars listening to
Me, probably.
I wasn't going to include you, but yeah, I have listened to you a lot, Simon. Some fairly high-powered, influential people. I know you're number 3, but I've been listening to number 1 as well, Peter Knight.
I think if I have many episodes like this, I'm going to be dropping fairly quickly.
I know they'll get invited back. So no, we've done a lot of listening. We engage obviously with our clients, and what we're trying to deliver is what they want, as opposed to what we think they want.
Okay, cool. And Nick, hopefully that reconciles with what you experienced from ASAP, or this just got really awkward. Obviously, just give us a bit of background about you as a business, though, just so people who don't know so much about you move, just give an idea of the size and scale of the business.
Sorry, Simon.
Cool. So YouMove is a franchise business. We've got about 120 franchise operators all over the UK and about 250 people working on the ground. And at the moment, we've got stock volume of around 3,500 properties that are either for sale or to let, or sold subject to contract, and a good number of those go through ASAP. So our franchisees are encouraged to place the solicitor work through ASAP. So they've got a panel of solicitors that sit behind that, which they will farm the work out to. The beauty there is that all of those solicitors work to a very similar process, which enables ASAP to progress the sales very, very quickly. And something Rich and I have been measuring and monitoring very closely over a good number of years now is how long does it take our cases to complete that are handled by ASAP versus how long does it take for cases to complete that are not? Because some customers want to use our own solicitors, that's fine. We don't force this through the customer end. And we tend to find that on average, it's about 3 weeks that we save if those cases go through ASAP. And if you think about it, it's absolutely insane. So if you think about pipeline turnover, sales turnover, the amount of time, effort and energy that our estate agent franchisees can save by not having a client to manage for an extra 3 weeks times 50 or 100 units that they'll put through their business every year, that enables them to just sell more stock. So that time saving has a real significant value, let alone the customer benefit through quicker transactions and be able to move on and all this kind of stuff. So we know that's a stressful time of a move, and if we can reduce the time that stressful period is going on for, then so much the better.
It's just total win-win, isn't it, there? And what's really interesting about that is, look, this is a proposition for all agents, but actually your particular model as well, it's tailor-made, isn't it, for that element? These are busy people. They're trying to focus on just, get the listing done, progress that, all the way through, and then you can hand off this, what is always a tricky part of the process, albeit arguably the most necessary part of it, to experts that can specialise.
Yeah, and actually that's an important point because it's not such a hard sort of handoff in terms of the customer relationship. So we sell our proposition very clearly to our consumers, our vendors, that we will hold their hand from the very first time they inquire about selling their house with us through to the appraisal. We do all of the viewings and we speak to the customers on our one-to-one. So typically a vendor will have the mobile number of the one agent that they are working with, and that relationship is very, very strong. So we don't just disappear as soon as the offer is in the bag and move on to the next one. But we do rely very heavily on the team at ASAP to do the sales progression work, because it's absolutely pointless, our agents who are sales guys at the end of the day, trying to talk to solicitors and all this and just get that kind of bulk, just necessary admin work done. So we will always maintain a relationship with our vendors, but we're not spending hours and hours and hours chasing people down, because that's completely low value work as far as we're concerned, high value work as far as Richard and his team are concerned. And as far as the customer is sort of aware, we've got a nice intro to the ASAP sales progressor.
Yeah.
So that personal relationship isn't lost, but things get done very quickly. The customer likes it, they understand how it works, and it's a really good sort of proposition or a package of solutions for our vendors.
And do you present that as a white label? So essentially, Richard's team are phoning up as YouMove, or do you keep the separate branding as ASAP and just it's an understanding these are the experts who handle this side of things?
No, we introduce ASAP as ASAP. They say we will say to them that it's very much an embedded service within the YouMove end-to-end proposition, but it is a separate company, and there's a very real reason for that. In, we wouldn't pretend to be a surveyor and do a building survey. You introduce a company that knows what they're doing, don't you? And, you don't introduce lawyers pretending to be UMove agents. They're not. So customers know and understand and expect that specialists are required. And we're happy to say ASAP are the best in the business, and we work with them because they get the job done quicker. And more importantly, something I haven't touched on, we lose less. So sometimes sales get tricky, and that's why we do always maintain a relationship with buyer and seller, because if there is a commercial renegotiation, something wrong with the survey, or the chain, there's a bit of a problem, wherever, we will always have the agents manage the commercial side of those problems. But anything to do with the legal side, the conveyancing side, then obviously Richard's team, as specialists, they know the legal rules far better than we do in those processes, and it's right that they should do it.
And we shouldn't be surprised, should we? Because actually, if you are getting these deals through quicker anyway, there is less time for things to go wrong outside of your control anyway. So again, it does make total sense.
Yeah, I think it's being alert to the problem, because we all know things are going to go wrong. Of course they will. Yeah. But it's about being alert to that fact and dealing with it quickly. That's what gives the customer the good experience, or minimises the bad experience, because we all know it can go horribly wrong in conveyancing terms. When you're dealing with a chain of people you don't know and you can't control and all this kind of stuff. So actually being close enough to it so that we know what's going on, that nanosecond before our customer does, really important. So we're not caught on the back foot.
Perfect. That's what you want to hear, Richard?
I'm just going to keep my mouth shut.
If only all our guests were that good. Okay, Nick, I'll tell you what would be really useful to understand. How did ASAP get on your radar? Did a few of your franchisees start using it, and then that seeped up? Was it you yourself, or? That's
a very good question. It takes me way back to 2014, I think it does. So
actually, wait a minute. If it's a long story,
that's it. Get your slippers on. So I was running the York UMove franchise, launched at the beginning of 2014, and I got a phone call out of the blue from a chap called Tony Hill. And he said, I've got a cracking idea for conveyancing and sales progression and all this sort of stuff. Can I come and talk to you? So I thought, why not? So I met Tony in a coffee shop in York, and I started working with him, just UMove York and ASAP. So it was a one-to-one relationship. Nobody else in UMove knew anything about ASAP. But one of I think it was our Christmas conferences, I think that year, or maybe the summer one, the following, I introduced ASAP to the UMove network, and very slowly over time, as ASAP have grown and scaled their business, and UMove have been growing and scaling our business, we've become very much more embedded. So much so it is now a core part of the proposition right across the UMove network.
I'll just redact the word bronze then, shall I? Peter Knight might have to say that.
And await the call from Peter. Great, Nick. Great to talk to you again. Obviously, always fantastic hearing how UMove's developing, and just just such an impressive organisation, as are obviously you, Richard. Thanks again for coming on, and thanks for bearing with me. And I'm going to go and find a bush to huddle up in. That sounds horrible, doesn't it?
Simon, thank you so much for having me, Nick, and thank you so much for.
No, you're very welcome. Good to talk to you guys. Thank you.